So good afternoon, everybody. After a wonderful session of ice breaking, and before that a talk from Suhas, I am really taking you to the serious stuff. You are students and you need to be serious in your life, is what you are told. So I am taking you through that journey where how you are going to face your life and how it is going to change for you. How many of you, with raise a show of hands, don't like to eat vegetables or fruits? Can I see some? Few? Many? Well, I have some honest audience out here, that is for sure. When I was young and I was of your age, whenever I refused to eat, I didn't like vegetables or fruits either. So when I refused to eat, my grandma would look right in my face and say, "You are what you eat." To be truthful to you, I never understood what she meant. Realizing then, I used to think if whatever she is saying is true, then I should have become a samosa or a rasgulla by now. Because those are my favorite foods. Hey? With that, I did understand years later during my research that actually she knew something very deep and a profound truth. There are some invisible forces inside your body which define of what kind of person you will become. And what if I tell you that these invisible forces inside all of your bodies are the reason who are quietly sitting there and writing the next chapter of your lives? When I see this, have you seen this? This seems to be very familiar to at least all of you, the students out here. Same conditions, same ambitions, same efforts, same education. Some people thrive and others do not. That means the different outcomes, right? When you have that condition, do you ever see that if some person is actually very successful, what do you say? Oh, he is super lucky. What if I tell you that there are invisible forces in your body which actually are driving whether the person can become successful or not? You know, when I was growing up, I was told simple thing: work hard, be in the zone, should have lot of discipline so that you can actually achieve your goals, right? But, and especially we are all with visible outcomes or visible metrics. We all want achievements, we all want titles, we all want that big car, we all want that big house, right? But some people are able to achieve it while others are not able to achieve it. Some people are calm and composed when they are coming when they are seeing difficulties or problems in their life. We just heard Suhas with all his different emotions, but some people are not there, they are all overwhelmed. Easiest example might be Mr. MS Dhoni. We all know he's a cool captain, isn't it? And for all these people who are able to perform under the stressful level which you all are in right now, because as students you are supposed to do XYZ, do you think there are some forces which are sitting in your body, and this is, I'm talking scientifically, which are the drivers for your performance? And these invisible forces shape your life. Just consider, in your body, there is a very vast ecosystem of microbiome. What do I mean by microbiome? I mean that there is a combination of bacteria, virus, fungi, You are all mostly engineers, so maybe this might not understand, you can't understand it so easily. Just think of it as an Amazon forest, right? Amazon forest means what? Or any rainforest. There are diverse trees, they are interconnected with each other, and they adapt quickly. Same way, in your body, there are these different microbes which are actually your invisible force. If I say that these microbes talk to your brain, is not abstract science, is simple. They talk to your brain with under gut-brain axis or through gut-brain axis. How can you relate to this statement? Simple. The day when your gut is off, do you see yourself less on energy, very difficult on patience, and not able to take the right decision? But the days when your gut is, when you are stressed, really stressed, and you must be seeing all of it, either the girlfriend broke or the exams are near, those days you are not able to eat your food. Is that right? And when these things happen, to add on to this magic, if I say that 90% of the serotonin is actually made in your gut. What is serotonin? Serotonin is that happy chemical which allows you to be calmer in chaos situation. Can you connect it somewhere else also? When you come for giving exams, your mother or your grandmother must be giving you little bit of curd and along with little bit of sugar, and that is what they tell you to eat before you come for the exams. The reason is these good bacteria are the ones which calms down your mind. With all these great ideas, you might ask me one question, ma'am, bacteria are bad. Everybody has told us to be away from bacteria, kill them, sterilize yourself. And during COVID, they also taught us how to clean our hands actually, right? But then if I tell you that there are trillions of these good bacteria inside your gut, which is making the difference of a person that you are, it is something very interesting. And these trillions of good bacteria through gut-brain axis are talking to the brain at 1/100th of a nanosecond. That's the reason when your gut is not doing good, you feel it immediately because your productivity comes down, and that is the reason that when you are very stressed out, you say that today is not something that I can do because your digestion goes for a toss. So in this way, at least by now, you would understand this, that you cannot build a powerful system if your internal ecosystem is fragile. Let me take you to this very visible slide, which we just heard multiple times since morning. I was always under this impression that success is predictable. You worked hard, you played your connections properly, you put your pedestals on, and you said that you could be successful. But life doesn't go in the straight line. And sometimes you do have to see failures. I worked in the same manner that I have told you just now. I started my company in 2009, and I worked on gut microbiome or gut health and created a technology, a patented technology, wherein the microbes were converted to thermostable. Now what do I mean by that? Simple. There is, if you have seen curd in your house, if the curd is kept in this temperature outside for 24 hours or 48 hours, it goes bad. The same curd, if kept in the fridge, it stays. So fridge temperature of 2 to 8 degrees is something that the microbes of the curd can take it, but beyond that they go bad. We isolated these bacteria and we made them temperature stable up to 200 degrees centigrade. without genetically modifying. So obviously, in the area that I am working or in the industry that I am working, it was making a dent in the industry. Why? Because the cold chain was eliminated altogether. We got patents from US, Canada, 11 European countries, a global way of, global patents were awarded to us. And with this patents, I scaled my venture and I thought I have achieved it, isn't it? But COVID hit. And I had to exit my own venture, which I had built over 16 years. When COVID hit, the biggest problem came was markets vanished, uncertainties cropped in. And I was again starting a new venture. When I went into that stage, I realized two very important things. One, that you can build success, that is easy, but rebuilding the success requires a different set of qualities that is called as mindset. When I was rebuilding this success, it was definitely not easy because the problem was not external, the problem was internal. I had lost confidence in myself at that point. Losses were there, stress were there, and starting again, and whether I will be successful or not, I didn't know at that point. So when you see no success and when you see no applause, after you have been successful actually, you come face to face with life. And this is when, my dear friends, is where these gut bacteria work for you. This is where, my friends, these gut bacteria actually change what a person you can be. I restarted in 2022 and today I have 2 units working in similar line with a much stronger foundation and much better understanding of how to run a business. So rebuilding was not easy, and the biggest learning which came out of this was that when you are successful, you can fly high. But when you have to rebuild the success, you need to get up, put up yourself and say, hey, you know what, I need to do this again. And that requires a very different mindset, and that requires a very strong internal ecosystem to work for you, because it is not just about digestion, it is also about your framework of life. It's all about your resilience, it's all about your mindset that you can make it again. As much as I'm proud of talking about that we restarted and we got 2 companies working now in the area of probiotics, resilience something I understood another part. Resilience is a word which is used very often these days. And this resilience doesn't work if you do not have an ecosystem. What do I mean by that? When you have an ecosystem of good people around you, when you have an ecosystem of networks around you, when you have an ecosystem of good bacteria and a variety of bacteria around you, is when this system works. So resilience equally, just like how your internal ecosystem is there, where the bacteria, fungi and all the other microbiomes are working with each other, same way resilience needs to have the ecosystem put in place, otherwise there is no way that resilience will work for you. Any amount of execution, strategy, motivation doesn't work until you have an ecosystem base, so that you can actually fall back on those systems and make it happen. So 3 things that I would like to leave you with. First and foremost, build a very strong internal ecosystem. It's not just about digestion. It's about clarity. It's about your mindset. It's about you having that happy chemicals coming in volumes, so that you can take the right decision, right choices, and thereby leading to the right leadership. Rewire yourself. Mindset is not a trait. Mindset is cultivated. Ask, instead of why me, What is it shaping me into? And the third most important part is the micro resilience. Try and experience it. Small failures, hard talks, and the leap of faith that you take along with it. These are the three things which will allow you to bounce back, especially when you are seeing failure on your side. So I can say this with much more confidence today, that it is not your goals that you actually go and achieve. It is your systems that you have created, whether it be an ecosystem, internal ecosystem, or whether it be a mindset. The systems that you have created, when things don't work, you can fall back on those systems. To sum up, if I can say two things, you must be wondering, where did that grandmother's vegetable went, right? These are the microbes which also need food for them to grow in trillions in your body. So the first thing you might ask, but where did these microbes come from, ma'am? We didn't hear that story. Well, in your body, when you are born in this world, you are born with a sterile gut. It is the first, it's either a natural birthway canal that you have come out, or it is the first 6 months that your mother gave you milk, which actually helped you to inhabit these microbes into your gut. So today when you go back home, if you are in a hostel, call your mother and say thank you. She not only gave birth to you, she also made the first line of defense for you. Apart from that, when you were, after 6 months, the critical part of your childhood was over, and when you took the other food, the other set of bacteria came in. And so on and so forth. As an adult that you are today, you have 1.3 trillion bacteria in your gut. And these 1.3 trillion bacteria in your gut you are blessed in India with 7,000 different species. How do you relate to that? You fared well during COVID compared to the other populations of the world. So the grandmother's vegetables were the food for these bacteria. The fruits and the vegetables that your grandmother asked you to eat were the food for these bacteria called as prebiotics. So my dear friends, when you have a strong ecosystem inside, you will go one step further, because you will make good gut and brain connections stronger, and also it will help you to get the higher percentage of happy chemicals, the serotonin and the dopamine in your brain, so that you all can feel calmer when there is a chaos. Your microbiome, your choices and your resilience, they are the ink, pen and paper for you to write your next chapter. It's up to you what you want to write. Thank you very much.